up, and I want you just to stare at it and just ask yourself why the Microsoft Corporation would, under any circumstances, create such a piece of artwork and then put it out on everybody's computer screens 20 years ago. All right? Well, that's the reason why I'm telling you this, folks. Because if you look at that, it talks about how the 5G, in my opinion, after they wipe the place clean, they're going to make sure that any survivors are vaccinated, and the 5G is going to track and trace and irradiate to the ends of the earth. That's their plan, but we're going to derail it, folks, because here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. We're going to win this thing by putting out the information before it happens so they can't pull it off, and we're going to take the wind out of their sails by getting out in front of their false flags, okay? And so for those of you who have the lungs and the ears and the eyes, get the word out, open your eyes, spread the word, share the truth about this information, and all you have to do is put out that picture of the Seattle skyline, that screensaver, that image that's on WiFiDangers.com. I'm going to put that up on the FullertonInformer.com on the front page today, along with the link to this video. And I want you to analyze this Microsoft Windows screensaver. Once again, this is an image that popped up when you bought your computer back then. Back then I did. This is back when we still had an analog television broadcast, and I was able to freeze frame commercials from the Super Bowl and see the swastika in the vampire incisions on the Carl's Jr. Commercial for the Super Bowl, when the woman was riding the mechanical bull and she looked like she was getting off on eating that cheeseburger as she was riding that thing, and it was bluish, deathly looking commercial, and I freeze framed it and saw the vampire incisions on the jugular here, and she had a swastika on her cheek, and I called the corporate office on Harbor Boulevard and talked to marketing, and they freaked out on me. Then I called a couple Christian radio stations, and I exposed what I saw, got on talk radio here in Southern California, and the ad was pulled, okay? But it wasn't long before children disappeared because the Manchurian Candidate activation had already taken place for their bloodlust ritual that commercial triggered, okay? My point, and they put stuff out, subliminally to trigger things and trigger people, and I think something's coming for Seattle based on what I've seen. And the only thing I can do is tell you it's coming, and let them know that we know who's behind it. We're not going to fall for it. Iran is not going to, bomb Seattle. If anything, it's going to be an inside job, an outside job with inside help like 9/11 was, to get us into another war, folks. And I am not sending my children to some freaking military base to get this big vaccine full of goo that screws them up, and then they get mind controlled and trained how to kill people that had nothing to do with anything, because we want to steal their land and their minerals and their pipelines and their heroin and everything else between the top of the firmament and below the ground from these innocent people. And I'm not having my children come back in a body bag wrapped in a flag, okay?